Okay, well, great. Hi, everyone. Welcome to PACE Academy's uh, lower school Zoom room. We are so excited to meet you all. I think we've got several joining us. So I will give it just a minute for some more people to log in. Okay, all right. Well, again, welcome everyone to PACE Academy's lower school Zoom room. We may have a few people joining us over the next minute, so I just want to welcome everyone. I'm Catherine Patrick, Associate Director of Lower School Admissions at PACE Academy, and we are thrilled to be here to meet your families at Suzuki and help you all get to know PACE Academy this season. We're going to have a lot of opportunities for you all to engage with different members of our community. You'll probably see me at most of those as I'm your go-to person for any questions that you have about our process, any questions just about PACE in general, but we know that it's important for you to meet current PACE parents and some of our students. We've usually have you to campus to hear from them. Since we're unable to have visitors at this time, we have brought some students to you. So we'll share that shortly. And there are a couple of other members of our community here today to meet you all. And so I'd love to have them introduce themselves. And Jen, I'll ask you to go first. And then Taylor, if you can introduce yourself shortly after.
Oh, good. I'm glad I get to go before Taylor and I don't have to follow her. Hi, everyone. I'm Jen McGurn. I'm the Director of Admissions and Enrollment Management at PACE. So I work with families who are applying their son or daughter to pre-first, and families who are applying to our middle school, and families who are looking at our upper school as well. So this is my 15th year at PACE. One of my favorite things is the way that we get to know families as they apply and continue to watch their children grow up with us at PACE. So that is certainly something that I love about our size and our community. I would just say on the front end of this event, this is the first time that any of us have ever run a virtual admissions process during a pandemic. So we would love your feedback as to, how events were run, what you're looking for, what you need as you're researching schools and engaging with schools. And be patient with us. We are building some events that are specifically designed for you all to learn about the day in the life of a pre-first student, all the way to like, what does college counseling look like? What about graduation? What about diversity, equity, and inclusion? What about Isdell Center for Global Leadership? All of these kind of long-term aspects of a K through 12 school as well. So we've got some of those pieces outlined, but we're also in the process of developing more programming for you all. Ravenna is always going to be your source of, the best information and opportunities and how to register. So we will continue to let you all know about that. PACE is an incredible place. We've got wonderful facilities and one new lower school building that is in the middle of our capital campaign and project. It'll be finished next school year, and we'll show you all the fly-through video of that. But really what makes PACE special are the people in our community. So those are going to be our faculty members, our parents, and our students. So our goal over the admission process is to really provide opportunities for you all to connect with those folks in our community, because it's really about the people in our community. So with that, we do have some bits and pieces of that to share with you all today, in hopes that you will join in our admission process, and we'll see you again shortly. So welcome, and thank you all for joining us today. Taylor.
Hello. Hi, everyone. So I am a current Suzuki parent and a PACE parent. This is our 6th and final year at PACE. My daughter will be 5 in November, and my son is in his 3rd year at PACE. He's in the 2nd grade. So I'm able to give my perspective from both schools. And I'm an Uber volunteer at PACE. I'm there all the time. They see me regularly in normal circumstances. But I give a lot of time to both campuses, and I'm excited to be here and share my knowledge.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Taylor, for being here, and Jen. And now I'm going to share my screen and share, share what we've prepared for you all today. We've got some information that we put together specifically for you all, knowing that we have so many opportunities throughout the season for you to get to know PACE and get to know other members of our community. So let me get this up quickly. Okay. We've prepared an overview of the school, just like Jen said, just so that you can get to know the campus as a whole. We're a K through 12 option, and we will shift into some videos that we've prepared for you all so you can see our students in action. And we also want you to see the new project that Jen spoke of, the Cam Meemar Lower School facility. We are so excited about, and we want to share a fly-through video with you all. And Taylor, who you met, was in your shoes not so long ago, and we'll have her share her family's experience with you all and help answer some questions that you have. And we know that you'll have questions throughout this process, and so we'll allow time toward the end of our time together to answer those. Let's see. All right. Before we move on, I would like to ask if you can enter your name and your email address in the chat box for us. You've probably heard about Ravenna. This is our site where we stay connected with you, where you'll find the application. And this will allow us to connect with you quickly. And you won't have to go searching on our website for any information, but it will come straight to you. We're creating opportunities and events throughout the season, and so we can keep you abreast of those if we can just get your email so that we can stay in touch. So please enter that in the chat box, and I will grab it in just a bit. But for now, I'd like you to see some of our students in action. We call this the power of PACE.
It started 60 years ago with a spark.
Catherine, I can't see that.
Okay,
I don't know if anyone else can.
The idea that a school of unparalleled
let me
power
start this
could become a
over.
family,
Just a moment.
and the belief that that family could change the world. The warmth of that spark has sustained our school community.
Okay, pardon me, you all. Let me try this again. Like Jen said, this is our first virtual admissions process, right?
Lighting fires of discovery for generations of PACE students, propelling us forward together. We sense it when the conversations continue long after class, and an interest leads to innovation. When the boat floats and the bat connects, when the desire to succeed propels us to jump into the unknown. When going to school feels like coming home. The warmth radiates, spreading from our faculty to young learners and future leaders. It touches people and places in our community, our city, and around the world. The power of PACE is in our connections. It's in our diversity of interests and experiences. It's in our shared commitment to striving for excellence and the belief that our collective energy is a force to be reckoned with.
Okay, and now I want to share some more photos of happy lower school kids at Pace and talk a little more about them. Okay, can you all see these photos? Great. So like I said, we would love for you all to see them on campus and hear directly from them what they love about PACE. So oftentimes when I ask them to share with a guest what, their favorite thing about PACE, what they are learning, they often say their friendships, their time that they get to work together and play together. And it's important that learning is fun at PACE and our students are happy. They are ready and eager to get out of the car every morning to come in and get their day started. And we describe them as courageous learners because they're bright, they're curious, they're so motivated and hardworking, and they're open-minded and willing to try new things for us. The academic bar is set high, and they're in such a nurturing environment where their teachers know how to allow their strengths to shine. And in those areas of growth, they really develop confidence in trying new things. And I think that comes from this strong foundation in character development. They're going to learn all about the skills of empathy and perseverance, collaboration and leadership. And they learn to understand the importance of supporting and encouraging one another and being respectful to their teacher. And so we want to really recognize those moments and celebrate those. And you'll hear all about it when your child earns what we call a pillar of character. And these lessons happen informally in conversations throughout the day. But also there are scheduled times in their block of schedule that they'll learn about these particular skills. It's important that our mission is to develop confident citizens of the world. And so instilling this global mindset in our students is an important part of what our teachers do day in and out. And they're learning to make connections with their classwork to real life experiences and global themes. And we have a school-wide annual theme every year that allows them to explore this theme in their daily coursework and their core subjects, also in design thinking and STEAM. That's really important. This year, our theme is healthcare, so that is quite timely. And over the season, you'll hear a lot about our Global Studies program, known as the ISDEL Center for Global Leadership. And this really supports our mission, and I would say really differentiates us as an independent school. And I'm going to, move back into some other slides that we've prepared. And continue on to introduce our lower school leadership team. They work closely together to care for every member of our community. They know the children so well by name and how to engage them in their different interests. And I know that Sarita Mosley is one you're going to want to engage with through the season. And we'll have opportunities for you all to be on the lookout for so that you can join us in some of these events. And
are you supposed to be sharing your screen? You mentioned that you have a slide for everybody.
Yes, thank you, Jen, for letting me know that I am having trouble sharing today. I apologize. Okay. And are we back?
Yes.
Here
thank
we are. Now you can see our lower school leadership team, who I was just speaking of. Sarita Mosley is our head of lower school. And so, like I said, we will be in touch with you all with some opportunities to engage with them. And I'd like to share a bit about a day in the life in lower school. This is a pre-first sample schedule. And you'll see they spend their core subjects in their classrooms with nearly 20 students and 2 full-time teachers. And in those colored blocks of time that you see, those are special subjects that take them out of the classroom to learn with our special subject teachers. And there are 7 of those that will keep them busy and transitioning throughout the day. Those are art and music, design thinking, technology, Spanish, PE, and library. And in their classroom, you'll see this real balance of the traditional teacher-led approach and a lot of small group learning, collaborative work, and it just depends on when you see us in the day. You'll see them moving throughout the pre-first suite. There are 3 classrooms there, and they often are able to enjoy an outdoor deck that connects all 3 classrooms, and we make use of outdoor time when we can. We start our day at 8:05, and you'll see recesses every day, and pre-first dismisses class at 2 o'clock, but the day is not necessarily over at that point. We have an after-school program known as Night Crew, and that's available to you all daily until 6. The students will receive a snack. They'll have plenty of time on our playground, and they'll also have quiet time where they can do homework when they're a little older. And they will have one worksheet of homework once per week in pre-first. And most of their homework is reading. And so you're going to want to see that happen at home. But there is that quiet time during Night Crew, and enrichment programs as well. There are a wealth of opportunities for you all to select from in addition to Night Crew.
Catherine, can I ask a question of Taylor before we move
Sure,
on?
yes.
So Taylor, if you can rewind just a few years ago when you were really focusing on pre-first and your school search, can you share maybe what was most important to you and your husband or kind of your family as you were going through the process, and what you all were looking for, and you know, what PACES maybe provided there?
Sure. So for my husband and myself, diversity was a big piece for us. I mean, we're in Atlanta, and I wanted our son, his name is Reese, so we wanted Reese to get a real world experience. So we were really looking for that diverse piece. Sorry, I just ran up the steps.
Sorry.
A warm, caring environment, of course. We wanted to go to an institution where we were known by name, we weren't a number. And I feel that PACE offered that. I don't know if this is a good segue for me to go into our story, but so my mom's a former educator for 30 years. She was a principal. So my husband really didn't want to be in on it until we picked the top 3. So my mom and I toured 7 schools, even our public school, which I went back to maybe 2 or 3 times. I'm thinking this has to work. So we toured 7 schools. We applied to 4, and Reese got in all 4. Not a humble brag. I just wanted you to understand the full scope of things. Everyone thinks their kid is amazing, one of one, me included. But it was a really tough decision because I didn't expect him to be accepted into all 4. And the more I mulled over it, the more PACE just felt like it was a really good fit for not only Reese, but our family as a whole. So we've been pleased. He's been pleased. We've met some really, really nice families. The kids were pleasant, of course, but I was really interested to see the families, because these are people we're going to be around for 12 plus years, lifelong friends probably. So we've been extremely pleased.
Awesome.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Yes, thank you for sharing. Like I said earlier, you all are going to have opportunities to hear from other parents like Taylor. I think it's their experiences that will help you see your family at Pace and see if this is a great fit for you all. So we'll circle back to more shortly, and I'll progress through. Some of you may be wondering, what our COVID protocol is on campus. I have good news to share that our plan in place is working, and our kids are so happy to be here. They're in masks throughout the day. We enter all the major entry points on campus through a thermal body scanner, and lots of other procedures are in place to ensure the health and safety of our entire community. We started back with a gradual return in August, and all of our grade levels are here. And I'd say over 90% of our students are on campus. So we're excited to see them again. There is a virtual learning option, by the way, for those who have opted to stay at home. Also of utmost importance this year is our response to racial equity. And we spent a lot of time listening to members of our community, alumni, parents, and students and teachers, and just taking in feedback and different experiences to determine how to move forward. We have a wonderful plan in place that's here on our website. I encourage you to take a look at it. We have implemented change and accountability as part of this plan. And we know that it will continue to evolve because this work of diversity, equity, and inclusion is never really done. It's never complete. So we will continue to grow in this area and know that we're doing all that we can and should be doing. We're excited about that roadmap forward. And we've been talking about the new facility on campus that will be ready in August. And so I would like to give you a preview of that. I'm going to take us to another video. So it will take just a moment to load.
Pace Academy students embrace academic challenge, curiosity, and joy. And they deserve a school home that does the same. It's time to pick up the pace.
The Accelerate Pace capital campaign includes the Cam Meemar Lower School, updates to the lower school classroom building, and the restoration and renovation of Pace's historic castle. The two phases of this $50 million undertaking will create spaces where innovative instruction, creative exploration, and the sense of family that defines the Pace experience thrive like never before.
Conceived by TVS Design and award-winning residential designer William T. Baker, the three-story, 36,500 square foot Cam Meemar Lower School will adjoin the existing classroom building and open in fall of 2021.
At nearly 3 times the square footage of the previous building, the Cam Meemar Lower School will accommodate our growing program and curriculum needs while ensuring safety, security, and accessibility for the entire lower school community.
The Cam Meemar Lower School will incorporate many of the architectural elements that unite our campus while reflecting the residential character of our neighborhood. Students, faculty, and staff will access the building from 3 secure entrances, while the warmth of our community will be on display.
The updated cafeteria will annex the current music room, adding significant square footage and creating a sense of openness. Our dining services will operate out of a full kitchen, serving delicious and nutritious meals in the cafeteria line, which will be set apart from the main dining space. New lighting, windows, and finishes will complete the room's makeover.
Our lower school leadership team will welcome students, parents, and other visitors, host small group meetings, and oversee day-to-day operations from a suite of offices adjacent to the building's main entrance and reception area, a space that both encourages collaboration and maintains privacy. Down the hall, an admissions waiting area will greet prospective families eager to get to know our admissions team. Individual offices, a meeting room, and a larger conference room will provide much-needed spaces for sharing the PACE story.
From dawn to dusk, there's no shortage of activity on the PACE campus, and meeting space is at a premium. The Cam Meemar Lower School will provide additional spaces for our community to gather. A 2,000 square foot multi-purpose meeting room will host everything from class plays, music performances, and parent meetings to guest speakers and seated dinners. 1,500 square foot pre-function space outside the meeting room, complete with a working fireplace, will welcome guests as they enter and allow for mixing and mingling before and after events. In addition, a long conference room filled with natural light and boasting beautiful views will serve as an alternative meeting space to the Castle Boardroom and other locations around campus.
For more than 60 years, the Pace Lower School has evoked a sense of home for our students, and the Cam Meemar Lower School entryway with its open staircase will further that feeling of warmth and security. Throughout the building, students, faculty, staff, and visitors will be reminded of PACE's mission to create prepared, confident citizens of the world, and our motto, to have the courage to strive for excellence. In the classroom building, a reimagined library will bring literature and learning to life like never before. Nooks for reading, spaces for small group work, and a video conferencing area and open shelving will make the library an academic hub for students and faculty alike.
Design thinking builds awareness and understanding of real-world problems through a human-centered, hands-on, and team-based approach, a method that mandates room to explore. And the new Design Thinking Lab in the science classroom next door, our youngest innovators will have the tools they need to collaborate, think critically, communicate, and create. The proximity of the design thinking space to the science lab will increase cross-curricular collaboration, problem solving, and innovation.
Down the hall in the Academic Resource Center, learning specialists will support each child's unique needs with a comfortable, kid-friendly common area, 3 adjacent offices, and a small testing room. The new ARC will facilitate student-faculty collaboration throughout the day.
The sounds of music will fill the lower level of the Cam Meemar Lower School, which will include 2 large music classrooms to accommodate our thriving programs.
With direct access to the playground and adjoining restrooms, our 3,900 square foot multi-purpose gym will allow students to engage in the important work of play before, during, and after school. Students can also slide into our state-of-the-art outdoor space from the lower school classroom building's second-story deck and enter a series of structures designed to augment the imagination on the world's greatest playground.
With academic excellence and student wellness at the center, the Cam Meemar Lower School will ensure that our lower school facilities match the quality experiences that take place inside and provide a fitting home for our faculty, students, and parents. The opening of the building in August of 2021 will complete the first phase of the Accelerate PACE campaign. After we cut the ribbon on the Cam Meemar Lower School, we will launch Phase 2, which will provide for the restoration and renovation of the iconic castle, modernizing PACE's home and returning students to the school's original classroom building, with new spaces created for growing our middle and upper school STEAM, design, and robotics programs. So join us for this next chapter in PACE Academy history as we amp up
Joy, play,
giving, creativity, wellness, innovation, and community as we, together,
Accelerate PACE.
Okay, you all. I hope you enjoyed seeing the new facility to come. And I hope that you will come on a campus tour because we will share so much more of our campus. Taylor, I don't know about you, but I know a lot of the kids love to get outside of the lower school and go across to the gym and use the pool and our swimming unit and PE. And they, will have some opportunities to see some of the older students as they're passing by to go to classes. So it's important to see the campus as a whole, just knowing that this is a K through 12 option that you are considering for your family. It's 13 years at Pace. It's actually not 12, but it's 13, starting with pre-first. So just a few more opportunities that I want to share with you all. By now, you've heard a lot about Ravenna. So we hope that you will find us there and get connected. That's the virtual tour there. We'll take you across our entire campus and parent meetings. Jen, who I think she had to duck out early, but she would love to meet with you all. I love and I enjoy meetings too. I think that that's what makes this work fun, is when we get to know your families as we're going through this together. And you'll see these looking ahead tours in Ravenna. Those dates are there. That will allow you to learn more detail about our middle and upper schools. Like I said, just making a 13-year decision, that will be helpful to you all. A day in the life of Pre-First will be led by Sarita, our head of lower school, and you'll learn all about curriculum, the ins and outs of their day, and student life in general. Finally, lots of parent and alumni ambassadors. They love sharing their experience with you, and so we'll provide more opportunities. You'll see the application is open. Our requirements are in the steps in Ravenna. We will see your child for a virtual observation this season. That's how it's looking to be. We love to welcome your children to campus, but it's looking like this will be a virtual visit. So we'll provide more details through the season about that. Additionally, the joint admissions testing program is part of our process, and their psychologists are taking appointments now, and you'll find some information more about that. And the teacher recommendation, we want to hear from your Suzuki teacher. This is where they've likely spent a number of their years there with you all at Suzuki. And it's important for us to know how they interact in their current environment. And we'll look forward to hearing from the teachers about that. And we collect all of this information, and to make a full file, the deadline is in February, and we'll give you many more reminders and information as the season progresses. For now, I want to allow time for questions, and please feel free to ask, if you have one you want to directly ask Taylor, please do that. I'll ask her to weigh in as you all have questions. This is our team, the full admissions team you'll see. And Jen, who you heard from, is happy to help you through the season. I am, of course. Ashley Stafford knows all about Ravenna. If you have any hiccups in Ravenna, you'll get to know multiple members of our team. I'm going to stop screen sharing for now so that we can see one another and open it up to questions. And it looks like, let's see, is it best to enter these in the chat box, Lyndall?
No, what we've been telling families is just unmute yourself if you have a question that you wanted to ask, if you're able to. I know some people are still at work, so if they can't verbally ask it, just put it in the chat box. So anyone, please feel free to ask your questions.
Deal.
Hi, I have a question. My name is Linda Barish. So I just wanted to see if you could talk through lunch, if it's included in tuition, or how that process works with the kids.
Sure, yes. Lunch is part of our tuition. It's built into their day. They will eat by grade level. So for pre-first, that's a little earlier. We like to call it brunch. They'll eat at about 10:50. They start lining up. And right now, it looks a little different for the COVID style lunch, right? So we're allowing distance for the children to eat safely. And we hope to be back in full swing next year with typically we eat family style. And Taylor, I think I've seen you having lunch a time or several at Pace with your son. And we offer a hot bar option. There's always a meat and vegetarian option. We have sandwiches and salads and pre-cut veggies and fruit that are kid friendly and things that they'll, want to grab. And, our teachers are there to help them learn to make healthy choices. So if we see that they need a protein or something colorful on their plate, we are happy to help with that. But yes, it's a fun time. We have lunchtime concerts. If any of your children enjoy playing an instrument of some sort, we welcome them to bring their talent to their friends, and that makes for a fun lunch hour. And you saw in the video that we'll have a newly renovated cafeteria starting in August as well. What else is on your mind? There's so much to cover in a short time together, so we want to help you in your areas of interest.
This is Brittany Moeller. Thank you so much. By the way, the facility is just incredible. Jim and Allison Mask are colleague. Jim's a colleague of mine, and they were just telling me about it. But to see the visual is so cool. Would it be possible to get some of those materials sent afterwards? And apologies if you already covered that, but that'd be super helpful. Just look through those afterwards.
Sure. Usually we have printed materials that we would hand out at a tour. We would mail. This year we are putting everything on our website. So there's a curriculum guide that's linked on our website, lots of photos so that you can see inside the facilities. The facilities are exciting and, a big part of what we're doing right now, but it is also what's inside. Obviously, that's most important. And we've got a lot of information prepared on the website that would have been printed to send to you all.
Great, thank you.
Okay.
Hello, Catherine.
Hi.
This is Ronnie Mabra. I wanted to know a little bit more about your night crew program and the activities that you all have for the children.
Sure, yes. Night crew is separate from the after school enrichment opportunities. And night crew is mostly care for your child, available until 6. And they spend their time in about 3 different phases. They're going to have a snack right away because they'll be hungry since they ate so early. And they will spend a lot of time on the playground and a little quiet time in our library where they can look at books and read. Our older students will be working on their homework. There are board games for them to play quietly as well. So they're rotating through and, kind of like the day and the school day. And then in addition to night crew, there are enrichment opportunities. And Taylor, has he had any favorite after school activities or any you want to share? I can certainly fill in many.
Sure. The only thing he's participated in is chess, but he loves it. He does soccer and baseball with some other Pace friends. So we don't necessarily need that because practice is right after school.
Exactly.
But he has absolutely fallen in love with chess. So we were introduced through night crew.
Coincidentally. Chess is one of the mainstays. I will tell you, some of these opportunities rotate year to year. Chess is always a popular one. Some other options are there's usually a type of dance and soccer, martial arts. some STEAM and robotics opportunities. They had a new sewing program last year, and I think that was popular. They've had Spanish and math club. And so a number of those that do rotate, and those may or may not be an option in the fall of next year.
And they're generally
Thank you so much.
the older they get, correct?
Say again, Taylor?
There are more opportunities the older that they get. They're exposed to additional activities after school.
Yes, that's right. That is right. Even into 4th and 5th grades, they can participate in intramural sports with PACE. And so they'll rotate through, let's see, last year that was cross country, tennis, and gymnastics and basketball. Additionally, 5th graders can join the middle school swimming program. And if any of you have any wrestlers in the works, they can join the wrestling program as early as 3rd grade. So most of those, after school sports really start, or PACE sports, that is, starts up with middle school. But like Taylor said, a number of our families we're all so connected. And you'll hear from a parent in your child's class who wants to sign up for soccer this season. I'm going to coach, or whatever sport, that is.
Catherine, thank you for presenting everything. It's been great to see the videos. I'm always really impressed by those that PACE puts out. I was curious about the language programs that you offer from Pre-First. I know you showed the schedule. It was great to see that. What are the different options that are available?
In lower school, our target world language is Spanish, and it's I'd say it's a proficiency base. So, it's not immersive, but about 97% of that instruction is in Spanish. And they're getting it 3 days per week, 45-minute blocks of time. So by the time they're in 5th grade, they are well-spoken, well-versed in the culture of all Spanish-speaking countries. And as they're moving into middle school, they can opt to stay on the Spanish track, or they can take new languages, Latin or French. Okay. And that will take them into upper school as well.
That's great. Thank you.
Sure.
Hey, Catherine.
Hi.
I'm so glad that you guys were able to do the virtual fair this year. And thank you, Taylor, for also joining and sharing your experience as a current family. I'm sure a lot of our families are very appreciative to hear what you have to say as well. But I had a question about the ratio, and I'm sorry if I missed this because I know you showed the schedule, but for your kindergarten classroom, what's the ratio? How many students and how many sections do you have in the lower school?
Question. We have about 20 students per classroom and 2 full-time teachers. That's a lead and an associate teacher, and they both teach throughout the day. And there are 3 sections in every grade level. So we're looking to accept up to 60 students in Pre-First. And from year to year, our target is 60 per grade level through 5th grade. So they've got, a good number of friends who they get to know really well. And by the time they reach middle school, they are so excited to welcome new friends. We'll have 30 new students join us. And then again, in 9th grade, we have another entry point, about anywhere from 20 to 30 new students, so that a graduating class is about 120. Good deal. Taylor, what have I forgotten? What have we not talked about? Is there anything else that we need to add? I know we've got a little more time, but we'll have to wrap up soon.
There's actually a question in the chat.
Let's see.
It asks if we conduct standardized testing.
Okay. So we don't do the standardized testing like you would see or think about that the Atlanta Public Schools do. You're going to get a lot of feedback from the teachers throughout the year. So first of all, there's a parent-teacher conference in the fall and spring There's a quarterly progress report that you'll receive. And outside of that, we encourage you to, reach out to the teacher with any questions. They're going to reach out to you if they have a question or concern. So it's really this ongoing open communication. And then starting in the second grade year, they will take the ERB test, which is really more for our internal process. It helps us guide our curriculum outcomes and just, the curriculum in general. And our leadership team will share those scores with you all. You'll receive them, but they're happy to walk you through the results of that as well. But it is for internal purposes.
You have another question from a parent. Are there any faith-based activities for the kids overall, such as chapel, that's mandatory?
Gotcha. We do not have any faith-based classes or, chapel or organized gathering that is a particular faith-based. But we are welcoming of all faiths. We celebrate different traditions and holidays through the makeup of our families. So, definitely you're going to see the holiday program, which is such a longstanding tradition that tells the stories of Christmas and Hanukkah. And that involves all lower school students in different ways. You might have seen a picture of Reese, who in our slideshow was the angel. But we will also celebrate families of all faiths, and we want our families to help us do that. It really enhances what our students are learning and how we can teach to that. See.
So I love that you guys have the racial equity initiative that you brought to your school. That's something that we're also doing here, at Suzuki. It's a big conversation that we're having. And so I'm curious to know, what's the diversity percentage at PACE?
Yeah, in overall school-wide, it's right around 27% students of color. And our faculty mirrors that percentage. We're right around 26% teachers of color. And lower school, that's pre-first through fifth grades, it's more like 34% students of color. We have made tremendous gains in the last, I'd say 7 years. This is something that we track closely year to year, and we're happy to be where we are. And like I said earlier, we know that we are still growing and making sure that our families of color are happy at PACE, and they're part of all that we do. And so we're happy with the growth that we're making and continue to grow.
I would like to add, with the whole diversity piece, there were several parents and families alike that sat down with our head of school last May, not COVID May, but the May before that. So this has been something that PACE has been in the forefront about for a while now. So it's not just one of those, let's jump on the bandwagon and have this conversation. I would like to think that this has been on their radar for a while. So it's not something that just came to light, just if anybody wanted to know. But I love that our admissions team and the head of school is very open to having dialogue with us. I really do appreciate that they have an open door policy.
That's great. Yes, thank you for adding that. What else is on your minds? This is a quiet group. A different kind of fair, usually such a
questions are just coming at you, right?
I know. I have a question in terms of longevity. 2 questions, actually. What is your tenure of your teachers? And do a majority of your students, if they start at the lower school, do they stay for the 12 or 13 years?
Yeah. So teachers, faculty retention is, well, and student retention obviously are both so important. Our teachers, the average lower school teacher tenure, or I'd say at PACE is 8 years, 15 years teaching somewhere. And some of the teachers in lower school tend to be younger and, a little more transitional with, growing their family and perhaps staying home or moving. And so we might see a little more turnover just in lower school based on that. But overall, I'd say we've got a really healthy retention because we've got long-term teachers who have been here for 40 plus years. And on the flip side, new and fresh talent as well. As far as students go, we really celebrate our lifers who started in pre-first and will graduate with us. And knowing that there could be 60 lifers out of the 120 graduates that we have. Last year we had over 40 lifers. And so I'd say, that's a good number for us. And attrition is low year to year. Families will move and for whatever reason out of Atlanta, but our families are happy and stay with us year to year at PACE.
Well, thank you so much, Catherine and Taylor, for joining us. And if it's okay, if we have any additional questions, can we share your contact information with our families?
Of course.
Okay. Oh, sorry, Ronnie, did you have a question?
Can I interrupt real quick? Just a real quick question. I know we've been talking about academics and everything, but real quick on athletics. Are the athletic facilities on the main campus as the weight room, track, things of that nature, or they're located elsewhere?
Yeah, you've got to come see that. So when I say come see that, see us on Zoom. We do hope to have in-person visits if the circumstances ever allow, but it's looking virtual. So we will show those facilities on our tour. Some are on campus, and I'll say all of the field sports are located off campus. It's about 6 miles from PACE on Riverview Road. And we've got an incredible athletic facility there where we play football, soccer, lacrosse, and baseball. Our track and field team competes there. And did I say baseball as well? So that's a fun destination for our families. So you've got to see it.
All right. Thank you.
All right. So we are going to wrap it up and stop recording now because we have another session at